Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are test driving a 2013 Dodge Charger Pursuit with a 5.7 liter Hemi. This was the police package for the Charger in 2013. This is certainly not a pristine example by any stretch of the imagination. It still has its catalytic converters intact, but other than that, it is straight piped. The resonators and the mufflers have all been removed, and that certainly makes a difference. It is on aftermarket staggered 20-inch rims, 255 section in the front, 275 in the rear. And I believe it's been lowered based on the look of the vehicle and also the ride of the vehicle. So that certainly does take some of the comfort out of it. I have driven a lot of civilian spec Dodge Chargers over the year, but this is actually the first Charger Pursuit that I have ever driven. The modifications to it, the previous owner was a young lad, a young man, and getting cut up by a Mustang. And they're certainly the sort of mods that a young man would do, but in my opinion, they've made the car worse. Because one of the allure of police cars, ex-police cars, to me, is they're designed for a lot of things, heavy duty, blah, 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 highway driving, but all-day comfort. That is something that they designed these cars for. And the straight pipes and the lowered suspension definitely remove a lot of that from this car. The ride is a lot more punishing. The drone from the exhaust is annoying, although it does have an interesting side effect. So this 5.7 liter Hemi can do the cylinder deactivation, the MDS, multi-displacement system. So right there, it's running on 4 cylinders right now. I'm doing 78 miles an hour, 79 at very light throttle. So it's running on 4 cylinders. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do that for another couple of seconds and then give it some gas. And you can hear, I don't know if it came through on the camera correctly, but you can hear a really abrupt shift when it switches to 8 cylinders. And when you have the factory mufflers on one of these cars, you really don't hear that. So that's kind of interesting from a mechanical perspective to be able to really hear the difference there and hear when the cylinders activate and deactivate. And when all 8 are going, that was like 60% throttle, and it's so fast compared to the 2011 Ford Crown Victoria Police Interceptor that I own. Obviously, I think this engine is rated at 370 horsepower, the 5.7 liter Hemi, and the 4.6 modular in my 2011 Crown Vic is rated at 250. So this car has 120 more horsepower, and it feels like it. I mean, it definitely feels that much faster. The more modern unibody design of the Charger does give the car sharper handling for sure. I don't think the lowered suspension, it might help a little bit, but this car doesn't handle appreciably better than other Chargers I've driven in the past. The ride is just worse. And I actually chalk that up to the suspension, because I've driven a Charger with factory suspension on 22s, and it actually rode pretty well for 20-inch or 22-inch rims on that one. And this one's just got 20s, but yeah, the ride is not fun. I mean, look, if you're a young dude and you get one of these cars cheap from a police auction or wherever you got it, and you want to trick it out a little bit, like, hey, that's what being young is about. But I am now 40 and too old and too bald to be listening to this exhaust drone all day. Ugh. Not bueno. I actually did modify the exhaust on my Crown Victoria, but I took the factory mufflers off and I put Flowmaster 40s on it and left everything else intact, the cats, the H-pipe, all that. And I think that car sounds really good. The exhaust is a lot less annoying than this Charger is, so I think that this car that I'm driving would certainly be improved by a couple of Flowmaster 40s underneath it. That would tame it down and make it sound nicer and not as... Oh, I just get this feeling in the back of my neck when I'm doing like 80 in this car. It's not fun. But some people like the loud pipes. I don't know. Not my style. But this is a very nice car to drive. The handling is secure. A lot easier to put it where you want it than my Crown Vic. And that's up to the more modern unibody design, obviously. It's funny to play around with this exhaust with this multi-displacement system. I wouldn't mind owning one of these someday because I've always loved the Dodge Charger. I've had quite a few of them as rental cars, and I've driven a couple other ones just based on the happenstance of my life. And I've always loved the Dodge Charger. I think they're fantastic cars. Very comfortable, big sedan, my kind of car. And I like the idea of ex-police vehicles. So a Charger Pursuit is appealing to me. But I know that I just get the feeling they're not quite as sturdy as the Crown Vics as far as reliability is concerned. And when something does break, which it inevitably will on either car, it's going to be a lot more expensive to replace on a Charger due to its Mercedes origins. This car, the Charger Pursuit, actually still uses a version of Mercedes's 5-speed automatic that they used for years and years and years. And even if you get a brand new 2023 Charger Pursuit, for some reason they never switched the Pursuit over to the 8 HP transmission, and I don't understand why, because that 8 HP is very, very durable. But on the Charger Pursuits, they've stuck with the 5-speed, which is derived from the old Mercedes 5-speed automatic that they used in pretty much every car they ever built from about 2000 up until they came out with the 7G Tronic and all that. I'm gonna try to get a good clear switch off on camera. Okay, that's 4 cylinders, I think. There. And then it switched to 8. It's funny, it's just like a little fart, but it smooths out. When it's running on 8, it's smoother. But the factory exhaust, I'm sure, is tuned so that you never notice the difference. Traffic is being very cooperative with me this morning. It is a Sunday morning. And yeah, so that brrr was 4 cylinders, and then when it smooths out, it switches to 8. That's so funny. I could see myself. I would like an all-wheel drive Hemi version of one of these, but right now, the police auctions, I'm filming this, I don't know when it'll be uploaded. This one's gonna kind of stay in the can for when I need some content, but I'm filming this in June of 2023. And the police auctions are pretty sparse because municipalities have been keeping their cars for longer because of the shortage of police cars. And this is gonna be the last model year, I think, of the Chargers. So they won't be able to get Charger Pursuits anymore. So Maybe they'll stock up on them, kind of like a lot of departments did with the 2011 Crown Vics. They bought a bunch of extra ones because they knew they weren't going to be able to buy them after that. I just think this is a better, for me, it's a better car than an SUV. I don't like driving SUVs. And now, I don't know what, with the Chargers going out of production, I don't know what departments are going to drive besides Explorer utilities. What, they make a Tahoe police package, Chevy Tahoe. I mean, what, are all the cops going to be driving SUVs? I guess, I don't know. To get over. The Dodge Charger Pursuit. There's so much power compared to my Crown Vic. Crown Vic's actually, like, it's got a V8 and it sounds good, and it's not super slow, but it's not fast by any genuine stretch of the imagination. But this car is, I would consider it fast. It doesn't have alley lights though. I wouldn't have bought it for that reason. It's got the hole. At some point it did have them, but let's see. Yeah, it's pretty stable through this turn. God, that suspension though. For that 5 seconds that I enjoy it, the straight pipes do sound cool, but it's too much. It's too much to live with day to day. God, it's fast. All right, well, I'm gonna turn this GoPro off and settle down before I get myself into trouble. Thank you so much for watching my little test drive video. I don't think I'm gonna have time to do a full review on this car, unfortunately. I have very limited time with it, so I'm just kind of doing what I can. So thanks so much for watching. Hopefully I can get my hands on one of these Charger Pursuits sometime soon and do a full review on it, because I would like to do that. But for now, I am going to bid you a farewell. Please like and subscribe, leave me a comment. Have a great day. Bye-bye.